Welcome to the Coffee Club, broadcasting live from New York with your hosts, Felix and co-host Welcome Dr. to the Marc. Coffee Club, so let's have a live from New York. Enjoy the show, Felix and co-host Dr. Marc. So let's have a cup of coffee and enjoy the show.
There is no heaven. There is no hell. There is only this world, and there is no heaven. Reflection. There is no hell, and we do not know. There is only this world of the two worlds we are, and we do not know in which.
Ladies and gentlemen, we enjoyed that so much, we did it twice.
Yeah, what is going on here?
Well, we were trying something new.
Well, let's go again.
There is no heaven. There is no hell. There is only this world and its dark reflection. And we do not know in which of the two worlds we are.
Live from New York, it is the Coffee Club. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. My name is Felix, and I'm your host, and my co-host
is me, Dr. Marc.
And together we are the Coffee Club. And also at times we are the Coffee Club Party. As it's getting closer to election time, we will be doing more of our party action, getting people to go out there and vote, and doing the right thing. If you want to give us a call, you can give us a call at 646-595-3275. Also, a chat room is open for anybody who wants to chat. We like to communicate with our audience. Real important for this show. Otherwise, it's just two elderly gentlemen just preaching to you.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say we're preaching. I think we're just espousing our points of view. But it's always much more interesting when we have a third or fourth party, if not more. And people don't have to agree with us. You know, we welcome any challenger to anything we have to say, just to keep the conversation going.
Yeah, I mean, it's, a lot of times I have to disagree with Dr. Marc just to keep the conversation going. And at times I don't want to because I agree with Dr. Marc, but we don't want to let him know that part. Well,
if you read our blurb that goes out usually a day before, today we are going to be discussing D-Day. Now on Friday, we did our usual religion show as part of the Ten Commandments, the continuing saga and discussion. But D-Day was actually Friday. So thus today's title is D-Day plus 70. It also is important to note that June 6, 1968 was the assassination of Robert Kennedy. So it's very important, the date in American history. Robert Kennedy was well on his way to gaining the Democratic nomination for the presidency in 1968, and chances are, if the polls were correct, he would have defeated Richard Nixon, and Nixon never would have been president, and we never would have had Watergate. So it just shows you how history has been changed. And speaking of history, D-Day is a date indelibly marked in American and Allied history. It was the largest invasion by Allied forces up to that point, and basically, according to the media, we'll never see the likes of it again.
Okay. It's and we have a little recording that we want you to listen to, and it basically tells you what would have happened, or what they theorize would have happened if there was no D-Day, if we didn't go ahead and strike the Germans at that time. So I'd like you to hear it now.
The men and women who brought down Adolf Hitler's war machine cannot defeat mortality. As the dwindling number of veterans who served during D-Day are saluted on their 70th anniversary, we might consider how different our lives might have been if those soldiers and sailors had been turned back on those beaches. Stephen Ambrose, the American historian who founded the National World War II Museum in New Orleans, believed the Allies might have tried another invasion when ocean tides allowed, but that would have meant another year of war and suffering, and it would have lacked the strength of surprise they had at Normandy. Ambrose believed the Churchill government would have fallen and that Franklin D. Roosevelt might not have run for his fourth term. Isolationism, rampant on both the right and left in America and Britain before the war, would have been renewed. Charles Lindbergh or Joseph P. Kennedy might have been elected in America to reach peace with Germany, as Philip Roth imagined in his novel The Plot Against America. That would have left Germany free to pursue the final solution, to extinguish Jews from Europe and gaze Roma and millions more. John Keegan, the late British military historian, pointed out that Germany's V-1 rockets became operational just days after D-Day. Large static concentrations of shipping, he wrote, present targets that could be devastated with ease, which would destroy any second invasion before it could launch. The Allies might still have produced a nuclear weapon, as they did just a year after D-Day, but John Keegan reminded us Hitler had a nuclear weapons program of his own, and might then have succeeded in threatening his enemies with a nuclear strike. When we interviewed Mr. Keegan at his home years ago, he swept a hand over a globe and told us America would be marooned, alone on a vast planet flooded by fascism. Today we might ask, what kind of hell would we have grown up with in a world commanded by the creators of the Nuremberg laws and death camps? The Second World War animated a lot of Americans to live up to their ideals. The world began to overthrow empires, even as it struggled with totalitarianism, and America overturned segregation. As President Obama said yesterday in Normandy, none of that would have happened without the men who were willing to lay down their lives for people they'd never met and ideals they couldn't live without. They were normal men and women, young, scared, and vulnerable. That's what made them heroes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what makes our quest and desire for freedom so important, that total strangers will sacrifice themselves for an ideal of world freedom, defeating a dictator like Hitler. One can only imagine, as this speaker said, what it would have been like if we had grown up post-World War II and Germany had won the war. Not a very pleasant idea to think of.
You know, we really have to thank God that He backed us up in this tremendous war.
Well, I really have to say, Felix, I think, while some of the German leaders might not have been religious in a certain way. The average German soldier was religious. The average German soldier had religion. It's just that the Nazi Party was not preaching religion. Doesn't mean that the soldiers didn't believe.
Well, I'm sure there was a lot of German soldiers who were opposed even to what they were doing, and a lot weren't. It's the problems were the SS troopers. They were the worst.
Well, I took some information from the internet. A lot of people are asking, what does the D mean in D-Day? One of my friends basically guessed incorrectly, and I sent him some information, and he thanked me. It says, what does the D mean in D-Day? This is the most frequently asked question by visitors to the National World War II Museum. Many people think they know the answer. Designated Day, Designation Day, Decision Day, Doomsday, or even Death Day. Our answer, like many answers in the field of history, is not so simple. Disagreements between military historians and etymologists about the meaning of D-Day still abound. Here are just two explanations. In Stephen Ambrose, that's the same Stephen Ambrose who was alluded to in our blurb before, in Stephen Ambrose's D-Day, June 6, 1944, the climactic battle of World War II, he writes, Time magazine reported that on June 12, 1944, that as far as the U.S. Army can determine, the first use of D for day and H for hour was in the Field Order Number 8 of the First Army in the American Expeditionary Forces, issued on September 20th, 1918. That's World War I, which read, the First Army will attack at H hour on D-Day with the object of forcing the evacuation of Mount Saint-Mihiel-Salient. Okay? In other words, the D-Day merely stands for day. This coded designation was used for the day of any important invasion or military operation. For military planners, and later for historians, the days before and the days after D-Day were indicated using plus and minus. D minus 4 meant 4 days before D-Day, while D plus 7 meant 7 days after D-Day. In Paul Dickinson's war slang, he quoted Robert Hendrickson's Encyclopedia of Word and Phrase Origins and said, many explanations have been given for the meaning of D-Day, June 6, 1944, the date that the Allies invaded Normandy from England during World War II. The Army has said that it is simply an alliteration of H hour. Others say the first D stands for day. The term is a code for designation. The French maintain the D means disembarkation. Still others say disembarkation, and the more poetic insist D-Day is short for the day of decision. When someone wrote to General Eisenhower in 1964 asking for an explanation, his executive assistant, Brigadier General Robert Schultz, answered as follows. General Eisenhower asked me to respond to your letter. Be advised that any amphibious operation has a departed day. Therefore, the shortened term D-Day is used. Brigadier General Schultz reminds us that the invasion of Normandy on June 6, 1944, was not the only D-Day recorded in World War II. Every amphibious assault, including those in the Pacific, the north of Africa, and in Sicily and Italy, had their own D-Day. The National World War II Museum's exhibitions explore the history of D-Day invasion of Normandy and the D-Day invasions of the Pacific. Expansion plans are currently underway to triple the size of the museum in coming years. So you can see that D-Day basically has no definitive designation.
It's just the day. The day it happened. That's all.
Well, just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the number here is 646-595-3275. We welcome your calls. The chat room is open, so feel free. Give us a blog, a chat, a call, whatever you'd like to do.
And if you don't want to do anything, who cares? Just do it anyway. We want to hear from you. Okay, this is going to be a long show if we don't hear from somebody. I am just going to put on another song just for this day, which is a very important day. It's a salute to all the armed forces.
And now, we would like to salute all the men and women who have served in every branch of our armed forces. As the orchestra and chorus perform the Armed Forces Medley, we invite those of you in the audience who have served or who are currently serving to please stand and join in as your song is presented. United States Coast Guard. United States Air Force. United States Navy. United States Marines. United States Army!
And good evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how you feel, but when I hear music like that, I feel like marching. Makes me proud to be an American.
Definitely true. And we had a caller that had the music and it scared them, I think. Didn't know what was going on, hearing music. Thought he had the wrong show. I can't believe that. What are you going to do with these people? Tell me, Mark. What do you think?
I don't know, but our show relies on these people.
Should we just call him? Return his call?
Yeah. I mean, what do we have to lose?
Yeah, that's true.
This is one of our regulars, ladies and gentlemen.
And whenever he hears music or anything he doesn't recognize, he just hangs up. I don't know what he was thinking, because he doesn't have his computer with him, so he didn't know what was going on. Let's see if Mr. Dan picks up.
Well, he has a cell phone. He could be calling from anywhere. I think he's avoiding us, which is strange because he called us first. Felix, it doesn't pay.
He may be on the phone. He may have gotten another phone call and he hung up.
Well, forget it. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I watched the program.
Hello? Somebody on there. I don't know who, though.
Well, I watched the program yesterday that I taped from Friday about D-Day. And they had 4 survivors who stormed the beach at Normandy. And to a man, they do not consider themselves heroes. Each and every one of them said that the true heroes were the ones whose crosses and Star of David are on the beach at Normandy in the cemetery. They were just fortunate enough to be the survivors who were able to come home and tell the story. And they all agreed that, for the most part, they were between 18 and 24. Most of them had never seen action before, and they were in total shock by what happened when the doors of the LST went down and they entered the water. First of all, from the pillboxes, the Germans had a perfect view of all of the Allies who were storming the beach. Those who were in the front were cut down first. Many men, as they waded to the beach from the water, said they saw bodies and limbs floating in the water. One man said that one of the men in his platoon had his head blown off. Okay, And remember, these are just ordinary young kids, just the way our kids are who are going to Iraq and Afghanistan. Okay, they didn't know what to expect, and it was just horrendous. One man really couldn't stop crying. When they interviewed him separately and alone, he constantly had his head in his hands, and you could see the tears coming down. Even now, 70 years later, it's so fresh in his mind. And he said, this is what we had to deal with, and then we had to come home, and it was peacetime, and there was no one to talk to about this. So if you could understand why many of our young soldiers coming home now, men and women, suffer from PTSD because they saw things that they just didn't know how to verbalize. They didn't know how to internalize it. It was terrible. And, that's what war is. When General Sherman said war is hell, those were true words. And nobody dreads war more than a soldier.
Well, Mark, Dan called up and hung up again because we weren't acknowledging him.
I didn't hear him.
How would you hear him?
Why wouldn't I hear him?
Why would you?
Well, did he call up or not?
He did, and he hung up again. He's listened to your sermon, and he finally hung up.
Well, if I don't talk, nobody talks.
That's absolutely true. I was trying to get your attention, but it's hard when you're in a roll.
No, but the bottom line is, let him hold on to the phone. And I didn't hear anybody say hello. If you connected him, I would have heard somebody say hello.
No, you wouldn't have. I said something. You didn't hear me. I was saying something. Mark, hold on.
Well, because I have the echo from my own voice.
All right. So now let's try to... Here he is. Dan, don't be in such a hurry to hang up. Mark was in the middle of his beautiful sermon.
I just don't know when to talk, or you're listening, or... Anyway, guys, what's our main topic tonight? I'll see if I can chime in.
We're talking about D-Day. And
okay.
I also want to talk today about this couple that had another mass killing, where they killed the two cops, killed somebody else, and then killed themselves. It seems like
I heard a little bit about that one. That's a little. I heard a little bit. I can't even talk about.
The story was, Dan, that these two people, husband and wife, were at that guy in, where was he? The guy who wasn't paying his taxes. I forgot his name. But anyway, they were interviewed by Channel 4, and the husband happened to say that if the government wants violence, let them come in and bring it on, because they'll get what they give. And I guess he decided that it was just too much. They didn't trust cops. They don't trust the government. And they packed their car with guns and ammunition. And they went into the CC's pizza place, and the two cops were having lunch, and they shot one guy in the back of the head. They shot the other guy in the throat. They dragged the bodies outside, and they planted one of those Tea Party flags, "Don't tread on me," and they pinned a note. They pinned a note to one of the bodies saying that this is only the beginning. The revolution starts now. So, I mean, all kinds of crazy people.
I didn't know the facts. I realized I just flipping through a channel or something about something like that, but you just gave me more details. I mean, that goes back to Orwell. You know, the answer to 1984 is 1776.
After that,
the revolution. I mean, I'm surprised it hadn't started sooner. I really am.
After that, they shot one more person.
I can't even talk about what you're saying, Mark. I just briefly heard something about a shooting.
Hey, Dan, after that, they shot one more person, and then I think the husband shot the wife.
No.
The wife shot the husband?
No, they went into, I think, a Walmart or something. Somebody approached them, and they shot that person, and then the wife shot her husband and then killed herself.
So they had a suicide pact.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, Dr. Marc and Felix, why do you think this stuff is happening for? Was it always happening, these things, or just the media now exploits it now? I don't know whether it always was happening, these stupid things.
Well, I'll tell you.
Or world just went nuts.
With 24 hours.
This stuff is so sickening.
With 24-hour cable news, you know, there's a big rush to be the first one to report this stuff. You know, it's not that they want to, but, you know, it's easy for somebody to make a name for himself.
But there is an increase in violence, if that's what you're asking, Dan. Definitely the increase.
I'm asking why. Was it always happening, or society is creating this mess?
No, it's definitely increasing. The violence is increasing. This was not always happening in this manner.
I mean, every week.
Oh, we just didn't know about it because you said 24-hour news. CNN is. I mean, forget about this kid, Afghanistan's right. I mean, they don't stop. They don't stop talking about it.
There were not these kind of murders 15 years ago. They cover these stories, but there's just more of these stories now. School kids, college kids.
Yeah, but you have to understand that there's a big push to be the first one to report these stories. I mean, don't forget, back in Kennedy's day, everybody knew Kennedy was fooling around, but you never read it in the paper. Okay,
right.
30 years later, under Clinton, we knew everything that he did, all of his ex-mistresses.
Exactly. What's the name?
Mark, that doesn't change the fact there were not that many murders like this then.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's what he's asking you. That's what he's asking you. Are there more murders now than before?
Now, I have a feeling that because of
media,
cable news,
internet and all cameras
that's exactly right.
Because
because of cable news, okay, these things get reported right away.
But that's not the point, Mark. Have there been more murders?
You're only hearing about it, that's all.
Are you telling me there were 24 kids that we didn't hear about it getting killed?
It didn't happen back then. There were murders, and there were 1, 2, or 3 murders, but you didn't have 26 people, of which 21 of them were little children.
Right. Exactly. There's an increase in these kind of murders.
I'm asking about your opinion, why you think this is going on. Or we're just learning this stuff now because of the media.
Well, part of it...
internet access and...
Part of it
is... I don't know about you, Mark. 20 years ago, I didn't have a cell phone that could alert me to tell me that there's a murder going on in Colorado. Or in a movie theater that wasn't there.
It was not happening then. If you look in the news from those days, you will not see mass murders. It didn't happen. The bottom line is you could research your history, and this only started in the last 10 years or something, where they started doing these mass murders.
What happens? No, what happens is that with the rise in the internet and the hate groups that are allowed to publish freely, and you get young and impressionable people who read these things and they find themselves disenfranchised, and they say, that's me. He's talking about me. So they decide they're going to do something about it. They're going to make a statement, and, killing one person is not making a statement. All right? So what they do is they go for the headlines. They go for the jugular. But that doesn't change the fact that most of these killers are mentally deranged, okay? Or they feel like the guy in Aurora, Colorado, in the movie theater, or this couple that, they align themselves with various groups, and, that was their reason for doing what they did. In Newtown, Connecticut, you had Adam Lanza, who grew up as a troubled child, okay, wanted to kill his mother, wanted to make a statement, and did what he did.
Well, he made more than a statement.
What kind of statement?
But also, you have to understand that with everybody screaming about Second Amendment rights, some of these people are just taking it to an extreme. Look, I'm not looking to take anybody's guns away from them. But you have to understand what the NRA has to understand, and people have to understand, is that when the Constitution was written, there was no National Guard and there was no police force. So every farmer became a militiaman, and they had to have a weapon to protect their farm and their family. Okay?
Right.
But with National Guardsmen and police forces, you don't need, like they have in Texas, this open carry. I mean, it's ridiculous. If a guy walks into the bank with a semi-automatic weapon, how do you know that he's making a deposit or he's making one hell of a withdrawal?
Right. Dr. Marc, I agree that, about guns. The Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, it doesn't apply to us today. It doesn't apply. The form of militia, that's the other part. NRA loves that, right to bear arms. They didn't say they never say the other part of that statement.
And
they like to protect, because they're a militia or something, but there's nothing going on like that. So
exactly.
They take that Second Amendment right to bear arms. America takes it the wrong way. NRA takes it the right way for making money. Right to bear arms. It doesn't mean everyone walks around with a gun.
And unfortunately, Congress is as afraid of the NRA now as they were afraid of the tobacco lobby back in the 50s and 60s when they made it mandatory to print warnings on cigarette boxes.
Boxes, but they're hazard to your health, right? We're never gonna get rid of guns. We're not going to. It's just the question of, if you give someone a gun, make sure it's in the responsible hands of somebody, not like what happened in Sandy Hook, Newton. You're never gonna get rid of that. I mean, you just gotta stop it for it. Just make sure the guns are on the right hand.
But you see,
okay, we all can have a gun.
The NRA themselves say that they're in favor of background checks, but it seems like Congress and the NRA working together can't figure out a way to do this so it doesn't infringe upon somebody's rights. They want to make sure that they keep the guns away from crazy people.
Well, it's
Yeah,
gotta,
I know. It's a really complicated situation. It really is. Everyone's about money, about the economy. Of course, we all make money off of military and guns and whatnot. But it's complicated. But then you got these situations in, Connecticut and all the Colorado, and then everyone jumps on the bandwagon. Hey, wait, stop guns. Again, that's what NRA loves that statement. It's not the guns that kill people. People kill people.
And don't forget the other one.
If I have a gun right now, I'm not going to run around going shooting up people in the mall. I'm pretty insane, I think.
Dan, don't forget, the NRA also says that the only way to stop a man with a gun, a bad man with a gun, is a good man with a gun. So there are answers to everything.
Right. Dr. Marc, you're a teacher. So now, would you want right now to carry a gun in your school?
Absolutely not.
Would you feel comfortable with that?
No. No,
right,
I wouldn't.
You would not, but at the same time, what would you do if some guy comes, like what happens in the school, we just saw, what happens in Sandy Hook when the guy comes running in? Wouldn't you want a gun on you if some crazy guy will shoot up your students?
No, I wouldn't.
I'm pretty sure you would just shoot him dead in a heartbeat.
I just wouldn't want. I wouldn't want to have a gun.
So you'd rather get shot?
And we have, most schools in the city have a policeman stationed in the school. So if there was anything untoward that was going to happen, he would be radioing immediately for reinforcements. But
the problem about the market takes seconds for the damage. What happened in Sandy Hook takes just seconds. And if you're on your chalkboard telling your teacher your students something, some guy comes with a gun. This is unfortunately how the world has been changed. That you're going to have to, teachers are going to have to carry a gun. Because look all over the news that, people running schools, movie theaters. Like, I know the NRA goes on that fact that if some good person has a gun, a bad one does, but if Sandy Hook would have stopped, all the teachers had a gun on them, it would have stopped.
You just finished asking. Yeah, but Dan, you just finished asking me, how comfortable would I feel? Okay, if I saw somebody with a gun in my school, and I would say I wouldn't feel comfortable at all. Doesn't mean that I want to carry a gun. We have to figure out a way to stop these people from coming into the school to begin with.
Well,
it's a tough subject. I mean, NRA has definitely good angles, but we have good angles too. So I mean,
do we make this?
I mean, how do you stop it though? You just gotta do more checks. I mean,
do you have to? Dan,
how about if we just make really smart. They're paying off the right people in the government, and it's a big industry, as we all know, and the right to bear arms, and it pays a lot of bills for people who work for them, for the gun makers and ammunition and whatnot. Because
Dan, how about if we just? How about if we reinforce the schools, make them more like jails? And close the kids, nobody can get in and out.
That's what's so sad about, school. I went to school, Felix. That was never thought in my mind. Now, these kids going to school now are scared to go to school.
Well, what do you think, Marc, reinforcing the schools?
What we're talking about. Kids. I'm sure you and Dr. Marc weren't afraid of going to school about something like this happening.
Of course not.
No,
I didn't either.
Exactly.
Now these kids are afraid to go to school, and firsthand, my kids are afraid to go to school.
Well, you have to understand. You have to understand that when I talk about the administration, I'm talking about principals, assistant principals, the dean. When they try to lock the other exits from the school, other than the main entrance, parents complain. And community groups complain because, God forbid, there should be an emergency, like a fire or something. They can't open up those doors fast enough, okay? So it means that the children are sort of trapped until somebody gets there to unlock the door or take the chain off. But by the same token, if you lock the other, entrances, then you're preventing somebody from coming in other than through the main entrance. And when you come into a school, if you're not coming into a school with metal detectors, then you have to open up, if you have a bag, you have to open it up and show them what you have,
I hate to break main topics, but I know D-Day, but we got onto guns. School. I can't even, like you said, school is like now a jail. When I got 2 daughters in school, myself, their own father, I cannot pick up my kids. I cannot. I can't. Going through a divorce and all, I cannot even get my own kids out of school.
Well, that's because
it's absurd.
That's because in the divorce decree, your wife has a stipulation that only she or somebody she designates can pick them up.
I can't even take my kids.
Did you hear what I said?
I used to get phone calls like a bad weather, storm coming, or emergency. The school used to call me.
Dan, did you hear what I said?
I'm going through. I don't want to go off the topic here, but the security of schools, like you're talking about, Dr. Marc, is that I could not go to school right now. I mean, well, whatever I say tomorrow, and walk in that front office and ask my kids. They'll tell me no.
Because you don't have the right.
I'm not walking with the gun. I'm pretty sane. I'm not walking with the gun.
You don't have the right.
You don't understand what I said. I told you that your wife has written in the divorce decree that only she or somebody she designates can come and pick up the children.
Right.
Well, your lawyer allowed that.
I do hear, Dr. Marc, I do hear you. It's not that. It's that it's not. There's nothing in the stipulation. Just how tight the school security is that you can't even walk in.
They're very worried. They've always been very worried about somebody coming in, claiming to be a friend of the family, and taking the children out. And schools are worried about lawsuits.
I hear you. It just it's frustrating. Maybe we should go back to D-Day. The guns and all. These poor guys. I don't want to repeat your story, but these poor guys coming out on the boats.
Oh my God!
They're kids. They're only 18, 19 years old people, and they're getting shot at. They didn't even know what the hell was going on.
Well, that's what they said.
They have no idea what they're walking into.
They said they had no idea what to expect, and when the landing, the doors or whatever you want to call it, the gate on the LST went down, first of all, some of them were dropped off in shallow water. Some of them, because of the weather, were dropped off in water that was over their head. And many of them, not many, but there were quite a few soldiers who either didn't know how to swim or couldn't keep their head above water because they were carrying their backpacks, and they drowned before they even got to the beach.
Yeah, there's 100 pounds on their back, and if they couldn't swim, they just, like you're saying, they just couldn't swim. Or they got shot before they could even try to swim.
Well, in the water...
That's why they were so sad.
Well, in the water, 100 pounds is not 100 pounds. It's pretty close to being weightless.
More than that.
But unfortunately, these guys, they couldn't swim, they couldn't maneuver, so that they had the beach against them, all right, the water, the waves, and then they had the Germans shooting at them. So they didn't know.
I hate when you say guys, these kids.
Well, that's what they were. They were kids.
Kids.
If you have if you have a 16 or a 17-year-old son, some of these guys were 18, 19, 20, not much older. And then there were some who lied about their age, okay? Because World War II was a very popular war, and some of them at 16 dropped out of high school, okay? They lied about their age, and, you know, here they was, 16, 17, you know, they were serving and going off to war.
Yeah.
Well, this is why, you know, I'm trying to go back on topic here. This is why everyone's so frustrated with this, you know, this TV guy, Bo. You know, desertion, you know, these guys stuck together, band of brothers, and this guy, you know, left. I mean, I hopefully that's a fact. I don't want to talk, but I don't know what I'm talking about, but apparently he left his platoon, and now going back to World War II, D-Day, you know, you don't leave. You guys got to stick together. But apparently, this is such a phenomenon with this guy. You know, Bo, who left his troops. I mean, this is what's so upsetting about. You know, D-Day, everyone's dying for each other, sticking together best they can, and this guy deserts and leaves.
Well, you know, they also say that, you know, this guy was tortured, and you know, a lot of things were done to him. We won't know what happened until they start investigating it.
It has yet to be.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely right. For us. We live in our society, our country where you know, until proven guilty. But just the way it's coming out in the media, it's not looking good at all. It's not with them. But who knows? I don't know the truth. But this, what everyone's coming out on the news, it looks pretty bad against him. But we'll see, I guess.
It looks bad against him, and a lot of them don't like the idea that you know, he supposedly walked away. They don't like that Obama dealt with. You know, a lot of people don't like that Obama
on your topic
traded
about military. It's not cool. The facts are true, or no facts are what we hear. It's not really make him look too well.
Well, a lot of people say Obama doesn't look good from this neither.
No, Obama, I don't know what I was thinking about him because he endured a pile of crap, and he's having all the time in Congress, and he's trying, but he's not getting anything done, and it's not all his fault why nothing's getting done. It's a mess.
No, I'm just talking about basically
how he's doing. I mean, okay, but that doesn't matter. I mean, who cares if you? What was the outcome of that one? He reduces to loans, I guess, interest rate. But if these kids get a college, you know, these grads, $100,000 in debt, and they get a job for $30,000 a year or $35,000 a year, who cares? What Obama reduces the rate to?
No. What I'm talking about, Dan, is a lot of people think that Obama should have never traded to have this guy released.
Oh, yeah. See, the problem is, Josh, you and I do not know the deal within the deal.
Yeah.
That's what we don't know. And I think I know the deal within the deal. My suggestion is, hopefully, the FBI will listen to me. They did that for a reason, Obama. That deal within the deal.
Well, I'm sure he wants to be able to negotiate with the
right. He wants to have the Taliban. He wants to. As we get more, they're going to release everybody.
They have to.
He wants that. They're going to have to.
Yeah, and he wants
to.
So
my hunch is that not just what I heard. My hunch is that Obama or the United States government is going to have a foothold with the Taliban. They're going to make a U.S. whatever an ambassador there.
Well, it's not the ambassador. What you want is the Taliban to be part of the government,
right.
But not.
Right. Same difference. The same thing. They want to be part of the government. They want,
but not impose.
Nothing to do with this.
Yeah, but not impose these crazy laws that they have.
Well, the U.S.
Right.
the U.S.
They want to
can't
work
be.
together, and there's nothing to do. It has nothing to do with this kid that got released. There's nothing to do with it. You know, we want a stronghold with, unfortunately, with the Taliban. We want to have our feet in there with them. Nothing to do with this kid that got released.
Well, the problem is, like you said, without the Taliban, the government will not last.
Right,
The
exactly.
Taliban have to join. Has to be part of the government.
Exactly right. That's why this kid was released.
What do you
There's
think,
nothing to do with
Mark?
anything else but that.
Well,
That was my gut when I first saw this reaction. When I first saw what heard was going on, I'm like, wait a minute. But
First
then
of
I
all-
just heard from the people talking too that's why we want to make them. We want to. I hate to say join them, which makes everyone want to throw up. But that's I just hate that saying is what it is. But that's why Obama did this. I believe, at least.
well, originally you said something about, the United States having an ambassador to the Taliban. You
Right.
can't have that because the Taliban don't have a country. Okay, it's not that they
Well,
want an
that's what
ambassador.
I'm afraid that they're trying to form one,
No, it's
and we're going to be a part of it. And that's going to. That's what I'm just saying. I'm
no.
not,
All
I'm
it
not
all it
telling you no facts.
means. All it means is that the Taliban want to be a force to be reckoned with when it comes to
Right.
dealing with,
Right.
prisoners and how the war is going to wind down. That's all.
No, Taliban wants to be part of the government.
I agree.
Mark.
Mark, I definitely agree with you 100%. That's what it is. They want to be recognized
I
as
didn't say
a
anything.
government.
No, I'm saying they want to be part of the government.
Well, I never said they didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
I said they want to be consulted.
Right. That's what the deal is. The deal with the deal. That's what it is. Everyone's so shocked that this is happening, but I think the three of us are kind of educated enough, hopefully better than the other half of the country. So if I offended anybody by saying that, but those are deal within the deal. Something's funny going on, and we all kind of know it, but the other half of the country doesn't really know or care to know.
Well,
This is something funny going on.
So-
Taliban wants to recognize as a government, and they're going to do it with our government now, as they've been doing. Wait what happens when Gitmo gets shut down. They'll be out huge. That's the whole. You always will feel like slapped in the face, especially being from New York, because after 9/11 or whatnot, and all these bombings or whatnot, and we'll just give it in.
why should we shut
We're
down
giving into
Gitmo? I think it could be a nice resort.
Yeah, maybe you and I will go on a vacation.
Americans used to be able to go to Cuba.
I think we'll be able to go to Cuba in the near
So,
future
yeah,
again
you get
anyway.
Cuban cigars. But
No, I think Cuba will open up.
The world, look, guys, I don't know, again, all the news is about how we don't deal with terrorists, but we just did. And, for one soldier, I don't believe that's the reason why we did that.
Yeah, but Dan.
we've been doing it for everyone does it, deals with terrorism.
Well,
like
that's
this,
what I was just going to
But
say.
America has that. I'm confused because that we never deal with terrorism. We don't deal with terrorists, but we just did. How do you feel about that, guys? When our government told us we never going to deal with terrorists, but now we are.
Well, a lot of the government, a lot of Republicans are saying that he betrayed the country.
He broke the law.
Yeah, well, not a law. I don't think it's a written law.
But again, that's because guys, it's a deal within the deal. Something was behind the scenes that we American people don't know about.
But
it goes back to even it's funny thing with the Bin Laden. How we didn't find him for how many years? 10 years. How we didn't find him?
Madden.
That's amazing. That amazes me when I find him. And the joke is, look, you send the mob in there. Not that there is a mob, but you send the mob in there, and they were down within 10 seconds. It took us 10 years to find the guy. That's absolutely absurd.
Well,
how do you guys feel about that? Not finding Latin for how many years? Jeez.
He was pretty evasive, and
I know. Come on, Felix. It's such a technology to find people. You can the expression to those. So you can find, they can find a mouse farting in the warehouse where we work, but we can't find him.
I think a lot of times, with the situation where he is, the collateral damage may be too much.
Look, we elect these politicians to hopefully do the right thing, but unfortunately, we don't. It doesn't come out that way. That's why I really don't vote. Or no, I cannot vote, but I really stopped voting because no matter who you vote for, Republican, Democrat, or the Tea Party, it's always just corruption. You just don't know anything, and all of a sudden, the news just plays out on it, and I'm so sick of watching the news. My grandmother used to watch the news all the time, but you know what? The volume was off. She watched TV, but the volume was off. She's like, too much bad stuff in the world.
Yes,
it's all nonsense, and it is. But that's my main question to you guys: was this always happening? Or
no.
Because of social media and how technology is,
no.
Was this always going on, and now we're seeing it?
No, you said it yourself. When you went to school, nothing like that ever happened.
No.
Right?
No, not at all. Yeah,
exactly.
Another interesting case is why. This is an awkward one to talk about on the radio, but the other interesting case is high profile case is this weird thing, this college thing going back to that sex thing that happened. New Hampshire College. The couple was having, I guess, not what they call it, the girl who said it, rough sex, and the friend died during rough sex. But would I'd known this 20 years ago? Probably not.
Yeah.
It would be on the news because you would never hear about it. It's awkward to talk about the news, but that just strikes me funny is, well, sex, and someone dies and it's all over the news. Strangulation, I think, and the girl got choked to death by accident and it's all over the news.
Yeah.
It probably happened every day back in 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but no one would know about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say.
Oh, it's all, I guess you didn't hear about that case. It was all over the news. But I would never, that happened back 20 years ago, 30 years ago? Maybe so, but no one heard about it. Anyway, guys, I went way off your topic. DJ.
That's okay. We always
look, it's a very sad day outside. Your heart goes out to them, and they're just kids. They weren't adults. They were kids. And they had no idea what they were walking into. And that's why, it's so sad.
They come out of training, they have no real experience, and they go out.
Yeah, it's a bit like you and I walking into work, and all of a sudden, machine guns. They walk out of your car, and machine guns are going off of you. And you're wearing 100 pounds of, protection, guns, whatever, ammunition, everything else, and you walk into the water. I don't even know what they went through. I can only imagine. Again, I just think of you and I walking out into the office, and then Paul of Hurricane Sandy, and have machine guns shooting at you, and you're only 69. You're not at least adults. These are kids. Imagine a 16-year-old, 17, 18-year-old kid walking into this.
Yeah.
Walking into Hurricane Sandy and have machine guns getting fired at you as you're trying to do your job.
That's a real.
That experience must have been worth. It's hard. So that's all I can say about D-Day to you guys. I couldn't even fathom that.
Now, I asked Mark before how many people actually died in the Normandy invasion, and we didn't know for sure.
What's the
but
total number? I know it was in the thousands. I think I don't know if that's
they're
the number.
saying that there were 9,000 graves.
I can only I can never relate to them. But again, if Hurricane Sandy came, if you're in your home, Felix, Hurricane Sandy came, and you're trying to get out of your house with all the water and carrying your stuff, and they got machine guns shooting at you,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's all. I mean, what do you do? And being, not to mention, not being an adult, being a teenager, not knowing what the hell to do.
Yeah. Scary situation.
If I was there, I would swim away. I would have been a deserter. I would swim back to another ship.
Where are you going to swim to? That's the problem.
Well, I would have tried to swim to the mother. Being an adult, I would have swam to the mother's ship. How far? I don't care how long it takes. I mean, Jesus, these kids don't know what to do. The movies you watch on TV, I mean, you've seen all the big movies about D-Day, and remember, these are just kids. They're not adults.
Hey, Dan, these kids that you're talking about now, if you were to put them in New York, they wouldn't know what to do. Put them in the middle of Manhattan.
No, they're not. Yeah, they know how to play video games. That's what they know how to do. These kids are these days. I mean, and I say I don't. Not that I blame kids these days, but I'm not. I won't be so shocked in our lifetime if they have a video game called D-Day, and you get the kids get to play if they went to Normandy. That's how gross our world came into. I wouldn't be surprised. I see kids. I want to take them skiing. My kids. No, they're video games. Skiing video games, and they can ski on TV.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird. I wouldn't be surprised at a video game called D-Day. I really wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't shock me at all in a bit.
It could happen.
A kid could run around on the beach and shoot people. I mean, this is why I think technology really hurt us. It's a good thing, technology, but I think these kids this is why you see an increase of shooting in schools, and the video games are just like that. Hell, you can buy a video game right now showing the World Trade Center. How it happened, and fire and everything else. You can buy these games, and the kids are watching this stuff, playing it.
I don't know. I can't say.
Look.
Listen. Years before, they used to play. They used to play Cowboys and Indians.
Pac-Man.
They used to play Cowboys and Indians. Everybody had guns.
Back then, when I grew up, it was Pac-Man, Atari, and Nintendo. Harmless games. These games are dangerous. They're shooting everyone up.
How about these Cowboys and Indians, where everybody's carrying guns, shooting at each other, and with shooting, bows and arrows, and I mean, it was violent in a certain way, I guess.
Hey, don't forget our kids.
But we never took it. If we watched the Cowboy and Indians movie, Felix, so that's what you're referring to. Yeah, but I don't remember watching a movie like that feeling like I had to shoot somebody up in the movie theater.
Well, don't forget
these games are really, especially if you have a mental case like this kid up in Sandy in Connecticut. You have a mental problem and you watch him play these games. You got a problem.
Hey, Dan, our kids used to have paintball parties. I remember my son had a paintball party. You get dressed up in old clothes and you shoot each other up. They have bombed out cars, and it's like war games.
You know what one of the problems I think, Dr. Marc, is that America lost a lot of the family structure. Because the economy got bad, and over the years, and people have both mother, father have to work. There's no one teach these kids what to do other than TV. And seeing they're looking at what the real life is, and unfortunately, technology, looking at people shooting each other up, and you know, they lost that. I know. I grew up. My parents, my mother didn't work, and my father worked, and leaving the Beaver, that's gone.
Yeah, but TV.
You know, for everybody, everyone.
TV was very different when we were growing up. You know, you had Father Knows Best, Leave It to Beaver.
Beaver, right? There wasn't. I couldn't. Another
Rifleman.
The reality show. Reality shows are a real problem for kids. You know,
the Rifleman, Bonanza.
Get pregnant. You know, the reality shows are horrible. I mean, the teenagers. You're telling a 13-year-old girl, get pregnant. Look where you'll be rich. You get to be on TV. What are you teaching them? When I grew up, I'm sure you guys too. We didn't have that thing. Reality shows, and now look what happened. Like the Jersey Shore kids, that reality show. Look, go party, you'll be rich. Go get pregnant, you'll be rich. And these kids, idolize all these Ross Mahone singer, Justin Bieber. You know, these kids idolize these guys. And they look what they're doing. They're on drugs. They're always locked up in jail. And the kids think it's fun. They think it's funny. But I didn't grow up with that. Nor did you guys. We grew up with whatever a singer you guys like. But they didn't do those type of things. That's what I'm wondering if they were doing these things, like just take whatever singer you guys like. Were they doing this? We just didn't know about it. It wasn't publicized about it.
Well, there's a lot of drugs around in the 70s.
I walked through up about Justin Mahone and Justin Bieber, and the kids I can't even talk bad about Justin Bieber. I can't even talk bad about him. Kids love him. If I say one bad thing about him, I'm the worst person in the world. Meanwhile, his kids is making so much money off of them. And they idolize him. And this kid's now on drugs and fights and whatnot, and they love him. It's amazing.
Well, I think his heydays are over.
I don't know. I don't, I really, it's amazing. I took Marianne's daughter to Justin Mahone in the city, in the pouring rain. The ABC studio, or ABC in Manhattan, about 3 o'clock in the morning, pouring rain. Because she wanted to go so bad. And this kid broke everyone's heart. Pouring rain, he sung one song outside, I forgot, ABC studios, I guess, in Manhattan. 3 o'clock in the morning, pouring rain. Got drenched, got sick. This kid didn't even come around to shake everyone's hand, to say hello to the girls. He ran right back in the studio that he sang a song. And you know what? You have so many girls crying. So many girls crying. I'm like, are you kidding me? After all that. I'm not sure my point is here, that other than I think the society is really messed up, maybe. You know, I've never seen kids cry like that. And he was a real jerk.
Well,
and I wasted all my time, and definitely, I guess you strayed far from D-Day, but
well, I was just going to say, getting back to D-Day, in World War II was a very popular war. In the United States, when you think back to 9/11, after 9/11, enlistments in the armed forces went up tremendously because everybody felt that they had a common enemy. The enemy was terrorism. Unfortunately, our president sent us to fight the wrong war.
Right, you're Dr. Marc, you're absolutely right. When after 9/11, my friends and I wanted to enlist, go in, fight, because we were pissed off. We felt like we got invaded. But you're right, we went to the fight for the wrong war.
When you think when you think about Pat Tillman, who was a football player, gave up a lucrative contract with the Arizona Cardinals, to become a ranger in the Army, turned down a commission. He could have gone to OCS, turned down a commission just to be a grunt, okay? He wanted to do his part, and then he's killed by friendly fire, and it's covered up. But there were a lot of people who like you say, who wanted to go in and do their part because, popular opinion was behind President Bush. He had a popularity rating of about 70%, if not more, at that time.
That's when he effed up, because even at my age, and my friend and I were like, look, I didn't have to even think about it, but I like to fight for something that meant something to me. But that actually war was a wrong war to fight. And the Desert Storm, I wanted to, I had to listen to my parents. They said no. But after 9/11, I'm like, no, this is not right. Don't do this to my country. I'm going to go after you. I'll do whatever. But that's what's beautiful about America. But now our government just messed that feeling up. Like we're fighting for nothing.
Well, the other thing the other thing that these 4 veterans from D-Day said was that back in 1941, 42, and 43, families, in your community, families had 1 in 2 members of their family fighting in the war, so everybody knew somebody who was overseas. Now, with a volunteer army, you have 1% of the people doing all the fighting, and they have all these deployments overseas, and that's why they have so many problems with PTSD and traumatic brain injury.
Like this kid all over the news, Bo. He probably snapped and said, "What are we doing here?" My cousin is still in the Army. Nassau guy. Should say trooper. He told me the same thing. It was a useless war that we're still fighting. It's useless.
It's winding down.
Killing people over nothing. 9/11. After 9/11, I'm like, wait a minute, don't come on my territory. It's kind of like a man thing or a United States thing. Don't come knock on my door. I'm not going to come after yours, but we just went after the wrong people.
Yeah, but
Stupid.
Right now, if certain neoconservatives had their way, there wouldn't be just 9 or 10,000 troops left in Afghanistan in 2016. They want to leave more of a presence, in the country, because the bottom line is the Afghans can't defend themselves. They need us. We need that war like a hole in the head.
Right, exactly. But still, believe it or not, we're still talking about your guys' topic tonight about, World War II, D-Day, we're just about wars here, but this one is a senseless one. Maybe we just don't know what the deal behind the deal, but I thought Bush brought us in here, he told us all his lies. I thought we got at least cheaper oil going fighting. We got oil jacked up, our gas prices started doubled.
Well,
when we started the damn war, I thought we were going to get cheaper gas at least.
Like I said before, Dick Cheney said that when we went into Iraq, Saddam Hussein's money was going to pay for this war. Where is it? All right, the American people.
It's on my pocket.
The American people put 2 wars on a credit card that we're still paying for now. And future generations will be paying for it as well. But then they start talking about, the budget. What do they want to cut? They want to cut social programs that could help
teachers.
you and me.
Teachers. They want to.
You know, they don't want to cut the
Yeah,
defense.
you know, the one thing I learned in college, well, actually, I don't want to say the one thing, the only thing I learned in college is infrastructure. The roads, the teachers. You got to take care of infrastructure in your society.
Well, but
you know what they're doing is.
They want.
I don't know who's Bush to blame or just the whole government to blame. Democrats and Republicans, they really just botched this one up.
They want to. They want to push. They want to push infrastructure, but they want to attach it to something that they find important. All right, if you're going to spend $1 billion on infrastructure, you're going to have to lower taxes by $1 billion.
You got to start a war.
No, the other way around. You're going to have to raise taxes in order to pay for it.
Yeah, well, it's always secretly done, and before you know it, you look at your mail and you see your taxes going up without even telling you.
Well, how else would you pay for it, Mark, unless you raise the taxes?
Infrastructure is so critical in any economy, but this, you know, we just don't like being lied to. You know, I like fighting for the country. Hell, if that was of age, I would fight for the country, but I'm not fighting over there for oil. You know, if I got attacked like 9/11 happened, the government did a real bad job of playing this one out.
Well, don't forget, these were two inherited wars. The only thing that Obama did was, you know, on Republican, the Republicans urging, okay, he had this surge, and supposedly things went a little better in Afghanistan after the surge, but you know Iraq was not his war, and
right.
While everybody says that Afghanistan is his war, he inherited it from Bush.
Right, you're absolutely right. He did. You know, you're absolutely right. You know, again,
Republicans don't want to give him anything.
I'm only at Obama level because I got some nice health care. You know, but one thing he did good. I mean, but he inherited all this shit, and he did the best he could. But he didn't go down bad. I mean, he's trying. It looks like, but he inherited too much too soon, and then something he couldn't handle. You know,
it's that.
And that's how I feel about the situation with him.
It's that.
And everyone wanted a black president and change, and we all believed in that. But there really was no change. That's why everyone gets so, upset with him.
Because he can't.
I believe it too. Like change, we need change. Get pushed out of there. We need change.
He can't get anything passed. Dan, he can't get anything passed. Yeah. Republicans don't want to work with him.
No, they don't. So he has no right. I feel bad for him, but he has no power here. He never did from his day one. He can't pass anything. He might have the right ideas. They're right. Congress not love with him. They don't want him there. And the next president, I hope not. But I hope that's not Hillary. But I don't know who Democrats are going to choose. I'd like to see. I'd like to see president. I'd like to see Paul. I'd like to see Paul run as president. His heart's in it, the right place, but I know he's not going to win. But Hillary, I don't know.
Well, the opposite side of this is the Republicans say that Obama doesn't work with them. It's a game.
Yeah, well, that's what I don't like, Felix. We pay taxes. We don't pay taxes for a game. And that's our soldiers die. I don't like the game. Yeah, that's why I don't even vote. Like I said, no, can I vote? But I don't even, like, we might even vote for, Republican, Democrat, Tea Party, whether you're left or right. It's just like, it doesn't matter who you do. They're all, corrupt. We hired them to do a job, but their job is something none of us, we never get in the deal within the deal, but we know what's going on, but we don't get it. or we won't understand it. So, like why Obama did what do they call it, a 5-star now? What are those guys called? Superstar 5 or 5-star? I mean, why that deal was made, none of us are going to ever know. Other than, I think, totally obviously politics.
No, they said,
this kid.
Dan, they said the reason they did that was because they had no charges. They couldn't prove anything against these 5 guys, even though they were high up on the Taliban,
Watch list, whatever.
or Al-Qaeda, So once the war was wound down, they'd have to let them go anyway. So they wanted to. We only had one prisoner of war. We wanted to secure his freedom. I mean, the only thing the administration. The only thing the administration was guilty of was saying that he was a hero. All right, they spoke too soon.
Right, exactly. They wanted to put it was a bad look. I don't know who the PR or all of it about our government, but it was definitely done poorly. They're trying to make him look like a hero, but meanwhile everyone's dead now.
Yeah,
poor guy.
But meanwhile, you have death threats against his family. His family didn't do anything.
Yeah, I know, it's horrible. I mean, it's really turned out to be another nightmare on Obama.
The only thing his family wanted to do was to secure the freedom of their son. Okay?
Right. And now look what happened.
Well, he'll get he'll get his day in court. That's what'll happen.
Well, right.
And the United States.
I know.
And the United States.
Yeah, look, I'm glad, my father's coming up. I'm glad getting his son back, but. If it is true what we hear on the media, that's just true. This is disgusting. And I know. They went with I guess our government went with the thing of, America's great. Let's bring our troops home. We never leave anyone behind. But also, they find out he left his troop, his platoon, and killed 6 people trying to find him. So that's not,
No.
like, I think we said it's a horrible PR thing for the United States.
No, you made it
really horrible.
You made it seem like he killed 6 people. He didn't kill 6 people.
Right, exactly. So now his parents are getting death threats because, Father's Day is coming up. I mean, who times this stuff so perfectly? I mean, Father's coming up. These parents lost their kids. Their father lost their sons. And this kid comes home and turns out to be, if it is true, again, I can't speak because we don't know the facts. But, and they lost their sons looking for this guy who was a traitor. Who actually walked off, if it's true, he walked off his platoon looking for the Taliban. And that's what he wanted to do. So we don't know all the facts yet, but right now it looks pretty bad. This poor family probably want his son back. But how do you think other families feel? It's so late to D-Day. We really need to go off topic here. But how do you think these families feel losing their kid over this kid? I'm sure his father are crying that they lost their son, knowing if it's true, knowing this kid abandoned their mission to save him or find him. And everyone's saying he walked. Even the people in the town are saying that he was walking alone, unarmed, left his gun behind, his helmet behind. So obviously he didn't get captured. He left. And six fathers lost their sons. This is facts. I don't want to talk like on the radio like I know what I'm talking about. It's just what you see in the news. He walked away.
Yeah.
And it's a very sad Father's Day coming up for these people, and this kid gets to go home. 5 years is a long time to be away, but I don't know if you noticed on the news too, you saw him, he was getting tied on the back from the Taliban, getting tied on the back saying goodbye to him.
No, I didn't see that part.
So there's definitely a deal in this one, what we did. definitely a deal with the deal. That's what I don't like.
Well, the other thing
I could see why my parents, why I wanted to go to fight in the Gulf War. My father said, absolutely not, you're not going. And I wanted to so badly. I want to fight for the country. I want to fight. And he said, no. You know the funny thing? He asked him that question now, Dr. Marc, Dr. Don. He asked him that now. He said, you should have went, But, he don't want to see you, but he goes, they understand, son, when I fought,
but they didn't.
And my uncles fought,
They didn't finish
for a
the
different
job.
reason.
In the Gulf
Yeah,
War,
right,
they didn't
my
finish
father,
the job.
My father and my two uncles went in the military. It was for a reason, to protect our country, protect our families. These wars are not about protecting our family.
It's about oil.
Oil, yeah, it's about oil. That's all it is.
It's to make
Right.
Dick Cheney rich.
Right, they make Halliburton. Look,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it was. And that's what my father, if he was smart enough, I shouldn't have. I really wanted to go and fight in the Gulf War, but it's a good thing I didn't. Probably a good thing I didn't. And my cousin told me the same thing. He went to, he went to Afghanistan. He told me to go to a horror show. He did 2 tours. He said it was a total horror show.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was a fight over nothing. He's sitting in the sand dune and then the ground, shooting people, shooting families, and that had nothing to do with it. It had nothing to do with it at all.
Sure.
But it goes. Our conversation really did not stray too far from D-Day. D-Day was a fight for something different.
No, we're talking
D-Day was a
about.
fight for something different.
We're just talking
It's so
about.
sad that we lost children in this war, kids.
Sure.
But these wars these days just make no sense. And I heard it from firsthand from my cousin. I told you already on the show. Told me it made no sense.
Well,
What are you fighting for?
they're financial
You
wars.
told me out of the trenches, is living in the ground, shooting people up, and for what? Protecting the oil fields. Controlling the area over there. It's all about New World Order. I mean, that's what I feel. It's all New World Order.
And things are doing
The
so
United
well.
States had no business being there. We had
How many
none.
people just got killed in Iraq? 50, 100 people just
Families?
got. I think 50, 100 people got killed in Iraq. 2 car bombs.
Oh yeah. Just I know. It's all about the attack in the airport.
No, no.
That's what just came out new. That attack in the airport. They just the Al Qaeda or the Taliban attacked an airport. It blew up all the planes and everything.
Yeah, they would.
Did you guys see that one?
They were terrorists dressed up as policemen.
Right. But I just I don't know. I don't know you guys. I think Americans just mind their own business sometimes. The problem is war makes money. They're going off for centuries. And it's the same thing with the NRA, I don't know if our government is supporting them because they know if we really, really did, the lobbyists, we really turn our backs on them. And the politicians get their money, because they lose a lot of jobs, American jobs. That's a big business. There's a shipping for the guns and stuff. Big business.
Sure is.
Walmart, everything else, just sell guns and everything else. And you have to, what's her face used to support, you got a lot of trouble for it. That show host, not Oprah, the other one. Support Walmart, they sell guns. It's a big business, and the government might be saying, oh, shoot, if we don't take these bribes and whatnot and pay off some contributions, we'll lose a lot of American jobs.
Yeah.
Throw our economy further into a spiral, a downward spiral. That's what I'm thinking about NRA and the gun industry.
Yeah.
They're making a lot of guns for overseas and for the United States, and I'm sure it's over billions, maybe a $1 trillion industry in these guns all over the world. So maybe the government's saying, hey, we got to let these guns happen, and Who cares if a few people get killed here and there in a movie theater? Well, this is a big industry for our company, of our world, or for the United States. We can't let this thing die. That's why I'm not putting a ban on guns. I'm sorry, that's just my take on it.
Anyway,
It's
listen.
too big of an industry to shut down, like the oil is. Too big industry to shut down, too big. You shut down the gun industry with NRA, you're gonna the economy will go further into a hole.
How about...
Because don't forget these guns you make, they go on planes. They go on military planes. They go overseas planes. These guns at the Smith & Wesson, and they're making all these guns.
How about
The military, and you can't, you're lose so many jobs, guys, if you take away NRA, what they're saying is, right to bear arms.
Yeah.
Lose a lot of money. I mean, you put our economy, and I mean, you shut down the whole country. You do that.
It would
What's
hurt.
your guys' take on it? No,
Now, how about if you stop producing tobacco? That would hurt us.
Same thing.
That would really hurt the economy.
Same thing,
also.
Felix. You take away cigarettes. But cigarettes, the funny thing is, they
Yeah,
got
but we're
smart,
not
too.
talking
Cigarettes at
about
least.
cigarettes. We're talking about guns, and we're talking about D-Day.
I know, but no, we just changed topics a little bit about guns. I mean, the wars make money. It kills people, but it makes money, and it keeps our economy going. Now, Felix just said cigarettes. Cigarettes at least, Philip Morris, at least they went into craft foods. They own that.
Yeah.
So at least they're doing the healthy thing now here. They're into craft food. Not into it, they've been for years. They own craft foods. And, it's about the economy now and guns. I think we're still on the D-Day topic. It's just guns make money.
Yeah, of course.
And our economy's in a world of shit without these manufacturers making guns. And so would cigarettes too. Same thing. They would kill our economy. This is why solar power is such a problem too. Our government, the only reason why it's not wind power and solar power, it's slowly coming through, but our government is just trying to make a way to tax on it. Before you know it, they're going to count how many times we breathe. Oh, you see, there's air in. They're going to charge us air that we breathe in every day.
You never know.
That's a far-fetched one. Now, I know that, that's far-fetched, but I'm telling you, the only reason why the solar didn't come through because of oil, and they're trying to figure out how do you tax money on the sun? How do you tax money on that? And they haven't figured it out yet, but they will. Yeah, we don't all be dependent on oil, but that's where the money comes from, oil. This is why all troops are dying because of oil. We're not fighting for our freedom. We caused terrorism. This is my own views. We caused terrorism. We did.
Well, we definitely caused a lot of hatred.
Not every right to blow up the Twin Towers. They have a right to be pissed off.
We caused a lot of hatred.
United States. Every right.
Well, let's
screw them over.
First of all,
he helped us with the Russians, and then we said, no, we may teach the Russians, and now this is what I'm worried about Putin. We started up again, another fight. But we need Bin Laden, we used him to help us with the Russians. And then once we patched it up with the Russians, we said, screw you, to Bin Laden. And that's why we had terrorism. That's why Twin Towers blew up. He was pissed.
Well, the government in Afghanistan is corrupt. You can't trust Pakistan because they harbor the terrorists. That's where Bin Laden was hiding for all these years, and they said, "Oh, we don't know anything." We don't know anything. And the people know that we're only in there to protect our own interests.
Right, exactly right. It kind of reminds me of Vietnam. It's just like we walked into something that it was false. We didn't know we were walking into. Or our government knew what they were walking into. They didn't care what sacrifice we made. But like Vietnam, we just walked into something. We don't know these people. We don't know the language. We don't know their trust and religions.
Well, in all honesty,
we went in there. There were thousands of people, so we don't know.
I don't see
So,
how the Vietnamese people's life changed so drastically once the South was taken over by the North. 58,000 Americans lost their life for nothing. And now Americans
happen now here too.
And now Americans go on vacation to Vietnam.
Yeah, exactly right. It's so weird.
Well,
Exactly
listen.
right.
Now, how many Japanese cars do we have in the United States after World War II?
Well, forget about it. Forget it. And it's not just Japanese. BMW, Mercedes, okay? I mean, all of these German cars.
Yeah.
Volkswagen.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird world. You just have to deal with it, you know.
My father.
Don't live a DJ and it's a weird. You learn so I told to us and Dr. Marc too. I love going to the Hilton because all the foreigners, out-of-state people, Japanese, Chinese, and Germans, and everyone from everywhere. And they give us, they don't understand us, and they just think we're stupid. They give us a heart of courage that you guys are unbelievable, how you guys work. But we, they, at the same time, are frowned upon. Like, I talk to too many. I'm talking about not one person, guys. I'm talking about hundreds of people I've spoken to, foreigners. They give us great courage for fighting, but they're like, we don't belong.
Yeah.
But they just say they do admire our courage, but also that our greed.
And our stupidity.
And again, I can't make this stuff up. So many people said that they don't understand us because they do. Their countries like they want to be their own country. They don't understand why we're involved in everything.
That's true.
Basically, I'm summing it up there for you guys. And that's they love us. Or they admire us and understand where our power is coming from. How we like to fight all the time.
We do.
And all these people from overseas, they're relaxed people. They're very relaxed.
Well, they don't have to
and
fight.
They admire where energy comes from. And I tell them I don't know where energy comes from. This is I was born and raised to fight.
Yeah, I guess.
Support. And these guys are like, just leave us alone. So it's always a good time over the Hilton. That's why I invite you guys to come with me anytime, and you'll learn. It'll be good for your show. You meet these people. And they're there every day, all flying from all over the countries, and they're there in business or whatever they're doing. But the accents, Australia does not understand this. I just met a guy one night from Australia. They just don't understand. Other than what you and I are talking about in your show. It's all about money.
Yeah, I guess
it's all about oil. That's what we're fighting for.
It's true.
It's not even what I believe. It's what I know from the people telling me. You guys just want your land and you want your money. You want to control everything. And they don't understand why we want to do that.
I don't know.
And pretty much we're an embarrassment to everybody else why we are acting like the way we act. How we handle things. Let other countries be. So, but anyway, you guys got witness to that at the Hilton. You gotta see it. All hotels down there, Jet, you like that. But Hilton's great. I'll let you guys go.
All right.
Always a pleasure, Dan.
All right, guys. Well, look, we'll talk again soon.
Did you try to get a hold of Dr. Don yet?
No, I didn't. I did not. They're going around, they're shopping and everything else with the home.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, I did not talk to him. No.
All right.
No problem. All right, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Have a good night.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you again for calling.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
No problem. I hope I didn't say too much.
That's
See you
fine.
later.
All right, bye-bye.
After that, FBI.
And that was Dapper Dan. I hope I didn't cut him off. Sound like he was still talking, but I think it's time to,
Just about time to wrap it up.
yeah. Anyway, so today we spoke about D-Day. We spoke a little bit about a lot of things. I hope you enjoyed it, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to end the song with another, let's see, what are we going to end it off with? Let's see. All right, we're going to end the show with, bum. What do we want to do? Let me think here. What do you guys think? What do you think, Marc? What should we end with?
You're the boss.
I'm the boss. You're the horse. Oh. Actually, I thought I had something here, but it doesn't seem to be. Oh, here, we're going to play this interesting song. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for listening. Dr. Marc, it was a pleasure as always.
As usual.
And we'll be talking to you again this Friday. Come and join us for the Rebellious Rev and the Doc. All right, thank you again. Good night.